Hey K-popers, and welcome back to Hallyu. This week we're talking about another girl group, GFriend. GFriend's story is a fascinating one which came to a shocking end this year, as we all know, so let's talk about it. First, we'll take a look at their debut and see how despite big expectations they didn't quite make it big. Then we'll revisit the concert that changed everything and made them K-pop superstars, as well as how their image and their artistry has evolved in a really unique way over the years. And finally, we'll talk about the abrupt end to their time as a group and the legacy that they left after those 6 years. Before we get started, I want to quickly thank Hallyu's honorary producers. If you want to show off your bias group here, share your picks in weekly videos, and join a vibrant Discord community with watch parties, custom emoji, and more, all you need to do is support Hallyu on Patreon. So, GFriend got their start at the beginning of 2015 under the relatively small label Source Music. The girl group consists of 6 members: Sowon, Euna, Shinbi, Yerin, Yuju, and Umji, and they made their debut on January 15th, 2015 with the EP Season of Glass and the lead single Glass Bead. The girls got a surprising amount of recognition right out of the gate, considering that they weren't under a big 3 label, and this was partly due to the song Glass Bead itself. Many parallels were drawn between that song and Girls' Generation's debut song Into the New World, both musically and otherwise. In fact, both songs even share a high kick in the choreography towards the end of the song, which made the comparison even more obvious. Girls' Generation member Sunny praised them for their talent during their debut promotions, even going so far as to call them the next Girls' Generation. So that certainly gave GFriend some huge shoes to fill, but as they made their first comeback with the EP Flowerbud and song Me Gustas 2, the success wasn't quite up to the hype that Sunny and others had expected of them. They hadn't earned a music show win with either song, and their sales were hovering around 25,000 or so copies, which is good but not great. But as many of you likely know, all it took was one single concert to slingshot these talented girls into the spotlight. So how important was this concert? Well, I've actually done an entire deep dive on this one concert and its impact on GFriend's success. So let's see what happened on that fateful night. On September 5th, 2015, SBS Radio hosted an outdoor concert sponsored by carmaker Hyundai and featuring GFriend, who were promoting Me Gustas 2 at the time. Unfortunately, the weather took a turn for the worse as the concert was getting underway. Heavy rain set in before the girls took to the stage, and the organizers went against their better judgment and didn't cancel the event. As you can see, the performance was also in the evening with practically no daylight available. The stage is soaking wet and really slippery with puddles of water absolutely everywhere. In fact, you can see Shinbi trying to kick some pooled water out of the way for where she's about to kneel to start the song. And to add insult to injury, if you look closely throughout the performance, you can see there are huge moths flying all around the stage. Between the water and the moths, the rookie girl group didn't stand much of a chance. When all was said and done, there were 9 falls and a bunch more near falls where members caught themselves before actually falling over. Yuju had the worst of it by far, falling 8 times just herself during the song. Despite this though, the group showed incredible determination and resilience, getting back up every single time, putting a smile on their faces and performing their hearts out for the audience. And that audience understood the girls' predicament and their perseverance. As the girls leave the stage, you can hear the audience chanting "Kwanchana," or "It's okay." And you can see Sowon stepping up as the leader of the group. Though she's visibly angry at what was just allowed to happen on stage, she makes sure the girls get off stage quickly. Thankfully, there were no major injuries from the performance. Yuju just suffered some bruising and a twisted finger. There's no question that after that, the members were embarrassed and worried about their future. After all, they were a rookie girl group from a small label and they just had a nightmare live performance, or so they thought. The performance was uploaded by a fan to YouTube and quickly caught the attention of several major news websites. Daily Mail posted an article about it, and Time magazine even had an article with the fan cam on the front page of their website the day that it went viral. Before long, millions of people had seen the girls performing Me Gustas 2 on that rainy night, and it became clear just how much fame GFriend had acquired after that performance when GFriend had their next comeback 3 months later. In January 2016, GFriend released Rough, an incredible song with some of the most technical choreography executed by a girl group at the time. It was the finale to their high school themed trilogy, and it was a huge hit. Sales for the album Snowflake were up 60% from the previous comeback, it reached number 10 on the Billboard World Albums chart, and Rough hit number 1 in Korea. With Rough, GFriend would finally win their first music show, and 14 more after that, beating out Twice and Taeyeon along the way, taking triple crowns and perfect all kills too. Their outdoor performance that September had skyrocketed them to superstardom, and when Rough came out, they reaped all of those benefits. GFriend would follow that up with their first studio album in July 2016, featuring the song Navilera, one of my personal favorites from the group. But while this was once again a very successful comeback, something was stirring among K-pop fans. GFriend's first 3 releases were part of a high school trilogy concept, and while Navilera was great, it also wasn't very different from those first 3 songs. fans were starting to wonder if they only had that one concept that they could execute on, or if they could actually branch out and try new things musically as a group. Well, we got our answer in a big way in March 2017 when GFriend released the EP The Awakening and its title track Fingertip. Fingertip was a huge departure from their previous comebacks, with retro elements and heavy electronic synth effects throughout. GFriend also really began building out some lore with this release that would carry over into future comebacks. Really, though there were definitely some fans that didn't like Fingertip, I view it as their first big step as artists, and they should be applauded for taking that jump. And this is actually a theme that has carried on throughout the years with GFriend. To me, it's felt like there's been this constant ebb and flow to their discography, and it's a testament to their talent and their artistry. After Fingertip, we got comebacks like Love Whisper, Summer Rain, and Sunny Summer, which were much different stylistically. Then, when it seemed like they might be revisiting that image and concept too much, we saw them evolve once more as they began releasing Japanese music with songs like Memoria and Flower. And of course, as we get into their more recent music, we can see a much more mature, sophisticated image in comebacks like Crossroads, Apple, and Mako. GFriend had mastered their craft as artists, and they were so talented, able to reach out to try new things and perfect them over the course of a few releases. And yet, as we know, their time in the spotlight came to an end as abruptly as it began. On May 22nd, 2021, news broke that shocked K-pop fans. GFriend were not renewing their contracts with Source Music, and GFriend, at least in name, would cease to exist any longer. The news was baffling to everyone, myself included. How could such a successful group just end like that? Truth be told, I wanted to make this deep dive a lot sooner, but I wanted to wait so that we had time for the dust to settle so we could understand what actually happened. But as you guys know, we still haven't gotten any real closure yet, unfortunately. On June 17th, about 4 weeks after GFriend disbanded, Yerin signed with Sublime Artist Agency, and just a couple of weeks ago we heard that Soyeon also signed an exclusive contract with IOK Company. And other than that, we know very little. Like I said, we don't know what truly happened behind the scenes, but if I had to guess, and again this is a guess, I think that internal changes at Source were a big factor. Remember, Source Music was acquired by Big Hit Entertainment in July 2019. And while we don't know much about Big Hit's influence on how GFriend was managed, it's very possible that Big Hit wanted terms in the renewal that the girls just weren't going to accept. At this point, it seems unlikely that we'll ever know what caused the breakdown that led to GFriend's sudden disbandment, but their legacy will live on regardless. After that concert in 2015, every single album GFriend released charted in the top 3 on Gaon. They were renowned across the K-pop industry as one of, if not the best girl groups when it comes to choreography. It started with Rough, which was easily one of the most technical girl group choreos at the time, and it continued right until the end. And if you needed any proof of this, just look at this unbelievable Mago dance practice, which was done blindfolded. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention their top-notch vocals too, led of course by Yuju and Eunha. This bled over into their B tracks, which are simply phenomenal. GFriend has arguably one of the strongest girl group discographies in K-pop. Under the Sky, You Are My Star, Smile, Say My Name, Compass, Ave Maria, the list of fantastic B tracks just goes on and on and on. For 6 wonderful years, GFriend gave us unforgettable music and memories. We still don't know if there ever will be an epilogue to their story, to their journey as K-pop superstars. But when you think about it, the story was pretty good in its own right, wasn't it? And with that, our look at GFriend has come to a close. Do you think their discography is among the best? And why do you think they didn't renew and keep going longer as a group? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. As always, thank you so much for watching this deep dive, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss all the great K-pop content coming your way right here at Hallyu. This has been deep dive number 66, GFriend.